right, welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Don't forget, you can go ahead and go in our store. You can get a T-shirt, whatever you want. I think I got a mug somewhere in there, but you can get whatever you want. Put it in your cart, and you can get 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU band. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share all of this great stuff out because we are about to have a conversation of conversations tonight, and I've been told that I'm on a time constraint. So we're gonna try to get out as much as we possibly can and squeeze it out. First off, man, I want to start off how we always do. My good brother Quan, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. I'm just tired, bro. No lie. We had a Saturday game last week against Jack Yates, the Scotts Free Classic. We have homecoming this week. Y'all know I'm still in school, so I have class tomorrow.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, this train gonna keep on rolling.
Well,
So,
we are in constant support of you and your higher education. I know it is a lot that you got going on, brother. So,
bro,
I'm trying to make sure that we get you out of here on time, man. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I know your response is gonna be like, hey, I don't care, I'm out. But we still gonna try to make it as best as we possibly can. All right. We got a newcomer tonight. Somebody who I really feel is going to add a lot of value, not only to the conversation tonight, but also a lot that what we have going on here at the network. I mean, this person here is like dumb famous. Like she done been all up in the spaces and been all up in Hollywood. I think she got her hands somewhere on Hollywood with what is it, the Chinese theater somewhere. I mean, she famous. Everybody know her. So I want to go ahead and bring her in. She's gonna tell us a little bit about herself, and then we're gonna get this thing rolling. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bring her in here. And Miss Nadira,
Hey, come
how
on, intro.
how goes it? How goes? Well, I try to make sure everybody feels comfortable and bring them in right.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And shout out to you saying that I'm famous. I disagree, but hey, we do what we can and we live our dreams and we make it all happen as best we can.
Hey man, well, hey, but see, this is the thing. This is why I said that. You got to go ahead and run down your resume so people know that we got somebody big name on here. We just a little folk, but you the big name.
Oh, stop that. So what up, Talk That Talk? It's your girl Nadira, professional singer, dancer, actress, as seen in Coachella with Beyonce, Sierra, J. Cole, Doja Cat, Lil Nas X, your favorite marching band movies, Drumline and New Beat, The Quad on BET, Boomerang on BET. The list goes on and on and on. One of your favorite HBCU marching band and dance line curators, as seen with ESPN and The Undefeated, on your sideline streaming live stream for the platform and the network. And I'm just happy to be here today.
man, you famous. Shut up.
Thank you, thank
man,
you.
Oh,
please. Man, please. Man, please. All that
I've
being
been
on,
very
but that's
blessed. I'm
cute.
very God is good.
See, see, I
That's what's
told
up.
you, I
But
told you.
your resume speaks for itself, girl. You better
Right.
gird.
Thank you.
See, that's why I want to make
That's what's up.
sure that we bring the right folks on because when we try to add value to these conversations, I want to make sure it's coming from a place not just from being a fan, but also coming from a place where there's a level of professionalism in what we do. So,
Absolutely.
without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our first topic. First of all, before we actually break that out, there were some great games, some great battles, some things that happened this past weekend. I just want to get you all's thoughts. I think we had the Capital City Battle of the Bands that happened, Boombox Classic football game and battle. Plus, we also had Prairie View and Grambling Cotton Bowl. Just want to get your quick thoughts on any one of those. You can fire it off, whichever one you want to talk about. Go ahead, Quan. What you got, bro?
I mean, I feel like the Boombox Classic held this hype, honestly, in my opinion. And there had so many good games this weekend. Some was overshadowed by others. Being honest, not too many people talked about the State Farm Classic, of course. You know, PV, that's the home team, but th- I don't know why this clip going viral of like this tuba battle. with PV and 14K, as if like 14K was trying to run, and it's like that's stupid. But I understand social media is about narratives. I get it, but they had a lot of good ones. But I saw for sure the Boombox Classic one. I'm not gonna say who won now. I'll wait till later in the show.
Okay. All right.
Period.
Nadira, what you got? What'd you see?
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I haven't caught up on my content for this week just because I'm preparing one of my dance teams for competition. So we've been in like heavy rehearsals. So I haven't really been able to get into it, but I am really sad that I missed the Boombox Classic. That's one of my favorite games to go to. Just seeing Jackson State versus Tennessee State, it's just like I don't know. The pandemonium inside of the stadium is always just like really lit. So I'm really sad that I missed that, but I'm definitely gonna check it out so I can, get my input or my 2 cents on it.
Okay. All right. So I can tell you right now, definitely agree with you, Quan. I feel like the Boombox did overshadow a couple of things. What I will say, I did watch the Boombox Battle of the Band, but I haven't watched the fifth or the zero yet. I watched the half
Mm.
times, which if I'm not mistaken, Southern did the red light special, and the red lights came on in the halftime, and so I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was really good. But one of the things that I like, especially with me being in production, audio, visual, and lighting, is the fact that a lot of these stadiums are going to more LED lights, the RGB colors, so that you can be able to do a little bit more and be a little bit more creative in some of the things that you want to do in your show. And I think that Southern is capitalizing on that. I think I saw somebody
Yeah.
else do that in another.
Yeah, A&T did
I,
something like
I
that
think it was
recently.
AMT did it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I really think that it's great to be able to add a little something to your shows, and I think we've talked about it a lot on this channel. About being a little different in your half times. Doing something creative, and for me, that's a great start. So
Yeah.
shout out to them. I also watched the Cotton Bowl this week as far as PV and Grambling. I honestly believe that they had some really good sound in their field show. There's some other thoughts I have about the fifth though, but we may hit that later on as we keep going. But I do feel like both sounds, the sounds that they produce in their field show was really good. And then the
I do
Capital City. Yeah, go ahead.
do you feel like these programs look significantly smaller or is it just my imagination?
Depends on the program you're
Like people
talking about.
look smaller to me this year than they ever have in a while.
Yeah, yeah. PV
Who?
PV
What school?
definitely.
Say that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It was clipping on my end. Yeah, you say PV was smaller? Yeah, they are. Yeah, hands
Yeah.
down. They're
I'm
small.
like, yeah. And it's not just them. Tennessee State is smaller too. It seems like I don't know what's happening. I got my own theories about what's happening, but it's very peculiar to me because these are like historically larger programs. And so to me, I feel like our programs aren't getting the highlight that they're used to getting just because it looks smaller. Does that make sense?
It does. I think that has validity, but me as being a band director and kind of like chopping it up with these band directors, two
Mm-hmm.
things are happening. The budget cuts are looking a little different in some of these particular
Right?
schools,
Makes
as
sense.
well as the smaller schools, they're giving more money now. So
Mm-hmm.
your Langston universities who can give you a 4 year, 50+ thousand dollar scholarship, and then the cost of attendance is cheaper. I'm gonna go to the
Mm-hmm.
smaller school because now
Right.
these kids are financially literate to a degree, and now because they're coming up under us, and some of us we march for the love. When it's like we're telling them, nah, don't love nothing, love your pockets. And I think some of that is happening too. So you looking at like what is it, Virginia Union, like schools like that, Fayetteville
Mm-hmm.
State. If you look at Albany State, like those schools, the cost of attendance cheaper, but they still
Mm-hmm.
get Miles College. They're still getting that HBCU experience at the fraction of a cost, and I could
Yeah.
be in the band too.
Yeah.
Man, might as
And still
well.
get national recognition. So makes
Yeah.
sense.
I don't know. I think that. I mean, I don't disagree with anything you said, but I think there's another piece to that too. I think that the social media culture has also told kids where they want to go. If Jackson is, if Jackson is the new hotness right now, Southern is still going to be
Mhm.
Southern. You know, I think that a lot of those kids that would typically go to those other places are now going to those particular places. I mean, even you can see that TSU has grown in numbers too. So if I'm a kid in Houston and I have an option to go to PV or TSU, and right now TSU is the new hotness,
Yeah,
just
they're
from
hot
the
right now.
social media aspect of it, I might choose TSU over PV.
Hmm.
So I think it's a
But
combination of
I
both the things you said.
so I mean, right, but I also look at it from the point of view. Look at I'm just speaking about my school. Look at Prairie View's admission rates though too.
Yeah.
Like they've increased the admission rate, and even though you may have the GPA, they're not accepting certain SAT or ACT scores. So if you
They
look
have
at
that.
some of our tradition, yeah. So if you look at some of the traditional schools, some of their admission rates have changed. I just look at it like this, and I'm gonna just say it like this: there are certain schools in the swag that honestly they're just above the rest, and their alumni associations as well as the presidents are supporting them for that. Like in the last, what we would say under Dr. Little's tenure, Jackson State looks completely different.
Facts.
Completely different. They sound completely different. They their marketing
I
tools
agree.
are just completely different. So I mean, they're getting behind it. You look at Langston, same thing. Under Mark Gordon, I think this is the seventh year. They, that's a completely different program. When you have your admin support, it looks different, man.
Absolutely.
Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Hmm.
get to this. Well, technically, second topic, even though we just had this topic, but let's go ahead and get to it. All right.
And Fort Valley State University has suspended activities for its marching band while the school investigates hazing complaints. So far, they've not released any details on the allegations, but in a statement, FVSU said it takes all hazing reports seriously, saying student safety is their top priority. The school's handbook includes a long list of activities defined as hazing, including abuse, illegal activities, forced labor, and more. Fort Valley's football team plays at Tuskegee Saturday before returning for homecoming on October 4th.
All right. Did anybody, first of all, did y'all even know about that? Was that something
I
that
did. I did. I heard about that. I actually read an article about it. Yeah, and pretty much she summarized everything that was pretty much in that article. They haven't had like any definite like answers as to what's happening. I just know that they shut down the band for this alleged hazing incident, which to me is peculiar, just because I feel like while I do think that all of hazing hasn't gone away. I thought that we learned a very valuable lesson from my beloved institution, FAMU, back in 2011, where we know that we shouldn't be doing things that are like physically harmful and detrimental to someone's life and well being. I thought we kind of got past that, especially in HBCU marching band culture, but it's obviously something else is happening there. But I also question, like, what are they saying is hazing? Because, having a person to put the uniforms away or pack away the instruments, etc., people can see that as hazing, because as a freshman, this is your role and responsibility. And I think that I'm not sure what's happening here, but I would like to know more details because I don't want to minimize it. However, I am also very clear that like sometimes things can be said because a person doesn't want to do something and it can be detrimental to the entire program.
Yeah, I mean everything that you said were things that I definitely had on my mind. Because literally, if you really think about it, making everyone wear white t-shirts and black shorts can be considered hazing if a student doesn't want to
Exactly.
wear it. And so I
Exactly.
definitely agree with you in the sense that we don't know what level that it is because there's not a lot of information that's given out. But
Right.
I still question the fact that if it is something a little bit more detrimental than the minute things that we're talking about, have we gotten to a point that we just can't let go of that culture? Like, is it are we so ingrained in holding on to that culture because we really feel like that's what makes us who we are? That's what establishes us as a culture.
I will hope not. I will hope not. But I think that, especially coming from the generation where like it was being phased out, for myself personally, um, how do I say this and be PC? there was some good things that came out of having roles and responsibilities and having a certain level of pressure on you as a freshman or as a, neophyte inside of any organization that made you level up. Are there other ways to do it? I'm sure there are other ways to do it, but I also think about myself as a dancer. And when we talk about dancers in present day, the way my teachers used to curse me out and throw shoes and things at me and who I am as a professional today, I don't think I would be that without that upbringing. But I can't talk to my students that way, because now it's just like blasphemy for you to talk to kids like that, or for you to tell them like, no, that's not good, or like, just the way that we were brought up, it's just not the same. And I think that there's some great qualities that came out of it, but like, what do we do to still get that excellence from our programs without implementing some of those tactics that were somehow detrimental to our, I don't know, ultimate well-being?
You were getting jazz shoes thrown at you?
Jazz shoes, keys, radios, chairs, everything.
Okay.
Right. It was real. Okay. And my teachers were like also Greek. So there's things that we had to do that were just also in alignment. When I pledged, it was like, oh, I did that before. So basically what you're saying is Greek organizations do that? That's what you're saying? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that as a professional dancer, and some of the rigorous things that I had to do in dance are similar to the rigorous things that I had to do for physical fitness, because a part of my sorority, you have to be physically fit. It's a part of our programmatic thrust. I don't know. Some people might call it hazing, but it's just physical fitness.
Okay. Quan, I've seen a lot of faces that you've made, brother. What do you got, bro?
Oh, do y'all hear that static?
Yeah, I can hear that static. I don't know why you randomly got static now.
Yeah.
So I hear static for me.
I don't know what just happened. What you changed, man? Don't mess with nothing.
I didn't do nothing. Bro, I didn't do nothing.
You sound like
a robot.
Yeah, you sound like a robot, bro.
It may be the Wi-Fi. I'm gonna hang up and call back in. I'm gonna do it real quick.
He sound like a remix T-Pain.
Man, hey, you ever seen one of them dudes who got that little smoker joint that you got to put to your neck? That's what it sounds like.
Exactly.
That's what it sounds like. But I hold up. He coming in again. Let me see if I can get him going.
Okay.
There you go. All right, now try again.
I'll try it. Same thing.
I mean, I can hear you, but it's a little clicky.
Man, hold on, man. I'm an alpha, man, so it's like I'm gonna figure it out. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Did it stop?
Yeah,
Did it stop?
You good now?
Nah, it's still a little clipping a little bit.
A little
it's
bit,
all
but
good.
And also, don't be trying to get me say that my sorority was a sorority. We don't haze in my sorority.
Hey, listen, I just followed your words. That's all I did. I followed your words.
Is that what you did? Is that what I said?
Followed your words.
Who said that?
I just kept going with what you were saying. That was all. I heard what I heard. Maybe I heard wrong. There we go. I heard wrong.
No, but what I'm afraid is that my words are going to be misinterpreted, because I don't want that to be a thing.
No, you good. You good. Everybody knows. If anything, everybody knows that I stay joking on here. So that's okay. One thing you ain't got to worry about.
I'm like, I don't haze. I didn't get hazed. I don't do it.
I don't even know what hazing is. I've never heard. No, let me stop. Let me
Come
really
on,
stop.
Now that's why we get caught up. That's why we get caught up.
Hey, okay, all right. So I will say I know what hazing is. I've never. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been at it, except when I was in high school. I got hazed. I got hazed from my high school frat and in band.
Even when you look and you're like, I never da. I think that's a part of it too, because I think that like when we make these like body gestures and we're just like, I've never been hazed.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that you done went through something. And so I think that also a part of the culture that is unspoken is that people want a certain level of respect. It's like you've gone through something to overcome, to cross. And at HBCUs, you got to cross everything from the gospel choir to the marching band to a dance organization, all these sort of things. And so when you don't cross over something, or crossing over something indicates that you went through a process, I think people believe that that process inevitably has to have hazing in it. And it's just like, no, there's certain steps and things that you have to complete in order to complete this process to be an official member of this organization. And unfortunately, I do believe that we're in a time that is very sensitive, which we'll talk about, I guess, a little bit later in the show, where anything that you ask somebody to do that they don't want to do is now considered hazing. And it's just like, well, if the process says that you got to do physical fitness in order for you to be in the band because you're playing an instrument and you're dancing and you're moving across formation, so you have to have stamina. Me asking you to exercise is not me hazing you, it's me building up your stamina and endurance so that you can have the great performance ability. But somebody can scream hazing on that, you know? And so I just think it gets very sticky when it comes to those sort of things.
I don't disagree with you. Like, I think I truly believe that the physical fitness aspect is definitely a part or should be a part of what happens, right? But there's a level that people take it to that I just don't believe, specifically from a band aspect.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm sorry, I don't need to get to get wooded up just to be in the band. I'm sorry, I don't.
I agree.
But there are some people who believe in that thought process. There are some. I there was a thing that I grew up with in my high school days called motivation. If anybody who knows what motivation is, when you standing in line, it'll be like, you want some motivation. If you know what that is, but when I think about it, I'm like, I didn't need that to play my trumpet. Like I was good with it without it. So it didn't make me a better trumpet. It didn't make me want to play stronger, harder, better, faster. I was gonna practice regardless.
I agree.
I don't know. I think it's a slippery slope. Now I will say this though. I came from a university where at Norfolk we didn't pledge everything. I didn't see that life until I started working at PV, and then I found out like every organization, you got to be in every organization. Like every group has a process. I had never seen that. So at Norfolk, that's not what we did. I don't know. No, we didn't do that at Norfolk.
Wow, that's interesting.
You want to join the jazz choir? You just go join the jazz choir. You want to join the gospel choir? You join the gospel choir. Like
like that.
Nah, it wasn't like that in Norfolk. That's new to me. That was some new stuff. But I mean, hey, every situation I guess is different. Quan, let me see. Start talking, bro. Let's see if you good.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we good.
Oh, good. Yes.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. So this is my take while I got the little time. Here's my thing. I hear what everybody say, but we also dealing with kids that honestly know more laws and rules than ever before. And they will use it to their advantage. And honestly, because they're immature, they don't see. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the tree because you just want what you want. And I know that there's certain buzzwords that if you say that could shut complete programs down, that you will allow people to do certain things at the end of the day. I'm gonna be real with you. When it comes to that workout, vicarious suffering sometimes work. I'm sorry. If a person in your section, we're gonna stick with band. If a person in your section don't know their scale, then why y'all playing fanfares? I'm gonna be real. As a high school band director, that's how I hold them accountable. So if because we don't have the perfect infrastructure in regards of middle school program. I mean middle school feeder patterns here. So we get beginner band students every year. So I don't care if I have a section full of old heads and they were like, well, Mr. Mitchell, can we play a fanfare? Not until this person right here, this new person know their scale or know the fanfare. Because when you leave, that person has to carry the program, you know, beyond your 4 years or your 3 years or whatever you're gonna give to the band at the end of the day. I feel like honestly, you have a lot of people at the end of the day, they're selfish. And y'all can still hear me? I think I'm freezing a little bit. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
Oh man.
Yes.
Hello? All right, cool. So it's like, I mean, so for me at the end of the day, I just feel like we don't know all of the details, but I know this much from that, and I could pick up what that news report is not saying. They say there was a hazing allegation, right? No one died. Bless God. Like we seen the worst of it through Caleb. We seen the worst of it through Robert Champion. We seen the worst of what Hazen does, right? It's an allegation. PV went through several allegations while I was there, where people were calling 222 tips and Crime Stoppers on lies. That the band was shut down 2-3 weeks just because of a lie, right? Um, it wasn't something like as of right now, from what we heard, it wasn't pledging. It could have been an isolated event. And at the end of the day, I understand for the purpose of being politically correct, you got to exacerbate it. But also, let's not act like these news articles are is not searching for clickbait, because hazing is a big thing at the HBCU campus, but it's always swept under the rug at a PWI. But we don't want to tap into those. Let's not talk about
Oh, talk
alcohol
about it.
poisons that be
Talk
that
about
be
it.
happening at the PWIs. Let's not talk about um even in the DCI sector. Me and you, Luke, we seen there's hazing that goes on in the DCI sector. How they be like, hey, the first year people don't put no shirts on. Like, let's not let's address it for like what it is. So, and everybody that goes through, for example, let's stick with DCI for a second. For that DCI sector, if you're not in that realm, they treat you like an outsider. Kind of like you were saying, love, like um you was like you got to go through certain things to honestly, when you cross over that burning sands for whatever organization, you feel welcome, because we all know that we went through the same thing. We had the same type of struggle. It may look different, it may sound a little different, but I know your struggle and I respect your struggle. I just think now, bro, it's like we pick up on, you know, those certain things because we know it's a hot topic. At the end of the day, I knew when we were marching, they had weight requirements for black foxes. Is hazing to have the same hairstyle? Is that hazing? Is that, you see what I'm saying? Like we want to nitpick, but those things matter. Like I know we about to tap into, possibly, the honeybees and different things, but for the purpose of hazing, the honeybees got a weight requirement. So if somebody was smaller, wouldn't that consider be hazing? Because see, we try to be technical for the letter of the law. And it's like we want to pick and choose, and I just don't respect that, bro. I just don't respect that. So I know when I become a college band director, I'm gonna talk to the parents to let them parents know that this is the standard, and it is what it is. You signed the contract too, and people fail to realize that point of view as well. You signed a contract to come to practice every day. You signed a contract to be up for whatever time that band director say. You signed a contract for it. So if you want dislodge, come to practice. And it is, if that's the standard, it is what it is. That's just my point, man.
I agree.
So, Nadira, you said something. The feeling of like you earned it, like you want to be a part. Like Quan, you deal with the young kids, more often than I do now. Do kids still feel that way? Like they feel like they is that still a thing?
Yes.
I,
My girls are screaming at me every day for her. So, Miss Nadira, I'm gonna dance for the Black Foxes. I'm gonna dance for the Golden Girls. Oh my God, I can't wait to be a stinker. They can't wait. They cannot wait. They can't wait. They're looking at it like, it's my dream. And they can't wait till they get to that level. And so they're trusting me to get them to the point where they are ready to audition for it. But I'm like, even when you get there, it's a whole different ball game. And so you got to level up now, baby girl, because when you get there, I don't want you to be culture shocked because maybe I was too nice to you or whatever. Because it's not sweet. It's hard work, and nobody's like, okay, good job. No, we're not giving away participation trophies for you to be a stinghead. We're not giving away, participation trophies for you to be a golden light. You gotta work hard. You know. So yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
still want.
that's interesting. I sometimes look at how you know the younger generation now sometimes tends to run from the quote unquote adversity. So it's interesting to me to be able to see that there are still, young folks out there who are willing to or who want to go through something in order to earn it,
Mhm.
versus, just walking onto it and saying, all right, I deserve to be here. Because, I deserve is like a real big thing now. I
Yeah.
deserve X, Y, and Z because I did X, Y, and Z. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's what I see from the younger generation. So it's interesting to be able to see or hear that young folks actually want to work for it. Now, depending on what you want to work for, that's something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was also going to say, there's different strokes for different folks, and I think that those students who are in programs under the direction of people who come from the world and come from the culture and want to see the best for their students, they get it. But the kids who are sitting at home scrolling on TikTok and want to be an influencer and feel like they should just get it because they're cute or they got a nice outfit or they were the best dancer at their studio that gave them participation trophies and never won a competition and never, whatever. They're just different. And then unfortunately, I feel like they get smacked in the face when they get into the real world because no, it's not handed to you on a silver platter. You have to work for everything. You have to work for it. And what is it worth if you're not really working for it? And that's the question that I ask my students all the time. If you didn't work for it, you're not going to value it. It doesn't have value anymore.
See, I used to ask my kids that all the time too. And some of them were okay with just it being handed to them. Because they don't want to go through the extra work. So, and I use this a lot, and I saw somebody post it, and I cannot remember who posted it, but I use it a lot now because it's so true. I feel like it's true. Our generation enjoyed band through pain. This generation enjoys band through fun. And I feel like that's kind of the perception that a lot of these kids have. Like, if it ain't fun, I don't want to do it. If it ain't fun, then I don't want to be there, right? And so, I just think that it's just really interesting to be able to see these kids and again go back to that deserve thing, and I just wonder how far is it gonna go, because I don't think there's a mass of kids now that really want to work through it anymore. I think there's more of the I deserve, and so how long is it gonna go until they get the trophy, like you said, the participation trophy of getting what they want just because they want it?
Yeah. And to your point, when we talk about like our generation, enjoying things because of the pain, let's not pretend like it wasn't fun. It was fun when you were so excellent and you blew another program out. It was fun when you got on the floor and you outdanced that other organization. I agree. It was so much fun to yes, we went through it in rehearsal. Yes, it was rigorous. Yes, it was but we loved it. It was a lot of passion inside of it. And so when we got to perform at a high level, that was the fun part of it. You didn't really love your teachers in the midst of running things over and over and over again and having to know your scales and having to know your rudiments and having to know all those things. But when you get into, the competition or the game or the halftime or in the stands and you're performing at a higher level than another program, that's fun. Now you get to talk your smack. That's why trash talk is even a thing. It's like, we work harder than y'all. Look how much better we sound. Look how much better we look. Y'all trash.
Yeah, but I think that's the flip of it, right? Mm-hmm. The work for us and the pain for us led to the fun. Whereas they want the fun to start immediately. Like, I want to get to the reward before the work. Like, oh, we got to do work. I don't know. I don't think I'm good. Versus, oh, we get to go play on these people. Be like, but you can't play yet. Like, you only know the F concert and that's it. You can't even play a whole piece, but you want to get to the game and try to turn up on somebody, but you don't want to go through the work, the practice at home, the practice at school, all the extra stuff that it takes to get to the fun. So I think that's the way I look at it. Like, they want to get to that fun early and not go through the quote unquote pain and the steps and the work to get to that, to get to that fun.
We can't hear you.
You gonna call my phone? I mean, that's fine. So you want me to put the joint up like this? You just want me to?
You guys, I'm gonna have to go soon. I hate to say.
All right, well then let's go ahead and get to the next topic while we trying to figure out what's going on with Quan. All right.
Are you gonna edit this in post?
Congratulate them. They're now the new face of Ozempic.
All right, y'all. Everybody, if you've been living under a rock, then you just I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's what Brother Joe said. Now, Now let me say this before we get into the whole thing. He has since apologized. There has been a letter that has been sent out for his apology. Now there has also been a reprimand for that. That has been sent out. If I'm not mistaken, they said he has been suspended, I think, from announcing for 2 games. If I'm not mistaken, one of you all correct me if I'm wrong. So there has been some level of consequence that has happened on the other end. But with that being said, I got to ask this quick question. But first, I know, Nadira, you were saying something before we went to the video. What were you about to say?
I just want to know if you were going to edit this in post because we got a lot of breaks.
Oh no, we go live. We you getting it all raw.
Oh, where we at? Okay, well we at where we at.
You getting it all raw, all raw. So, first of all, I got to ask this question because a lot of people came to me and I talked to a lot of people behind the scenes and a lot of closed doors. I got to ask this question: did you think the joke was funny? Okay.
I don't know. Okay. Hear me out. I don't know if I laughed in embarrassment and shock or if I thought it was genuinely funny. I don't know. I don't know if I think it was like genuinely funny just because I know that it was offensive and it was going to hurt people's feelings. And so I never want to laugh at somebody being picked on or feel like or something being said that's going to hurt someone's feelings. I couldn't believe it was said and my jaw dropped and I laughed. And sometimes I feel like I laugh in discomfort, like I don't know, I don't know what to do. I just think it, and then also the clip that went viral, hearing the sound effects of the people inside of the stadium and seeing like, I don't think those girls were actually leaving the game because of what he said, but as it was being said and the people in the audience screaming, oh no, da, 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 and you see people walking away, it looks like people had enough and they were leaving. So it just made it look a little bit more dramatic to me, which also made me a little laughy, uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, this was not a good joke. It landed very poorly. It was in bad taste. Something's probably going to happen. I don't know what, but I don't think it was okay. And I'm glad that apologies were made from FAMU and Joe Bullard and acknowledged by Alabama State. And we knew something was going to happen. I didn't think it was fire him worthy. Those are my thoughts.
I feel you, sis. Let me say this. I think it was distasteful. But let me say this. What's crazy is a lot of people are coming to the rescue of the honeybees. But for how many years have they said that they were the big girls for that dance? Like, how many people have made them the butt of the jokes when they were just trying to be them? And now all of a sudden, like, this dude said it, and now we're in outrage, which I feel like what he said was wrong. But it's like, I feel like we picking and choosing, like, the whole, yeah, like, selective outrage. Because I look at it like this. When the honeybees first came out, people were clowning them.
Absolutely.
And so, let me say this. Remember when Hamel went to jail? People was laughing at that. Like, a man was really incarcerated. People was laughing at that. When BCU did the middle finger in on the field show, people was laughing at that. That's why can I be real? Man, I don't take black folks serious like that. Because we want to pick and choose when it's cool. Now, he's wrong. absolutely, he's wrong because I feel like he shouldn't have had to say Ozempic, like, but he went far and all this. But let's be real. Other things have been said, and people have been wrong. So people are gonna pick and choose on how I go, and most people honestly cheer that he be doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just leave it at that.
I really don't believe that we're doing this right now with the cell phone. I just wanted to point that out.
I love it. It's innovation. Go for it.
Hey, we the show must go on, brother. The show must go on.
And it does. And it does.
So before I get to my thoughts real quick, Portia, you made it right when we started talking about it.
Hey, Portia.
Hey, it's been a day, but yeah, I'm here. I
All
am
right.
here. I hope everybody is doing great. Yeah, I hear you, Quan, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I would be fired. I would have been looking for him after the halftime show. You're not
Oh,
gonna talk about my girls like that. It would have been a problem. I'm telling you. Who said it? Come see me. That's where I would have been at with that. I was mad about it, and it wasn't even my girls. It's one thing to talk trash between bands, and all of what you said, I agree with. Like, but where's the line? Like, cause then they still had like to perform after that. They still had to go back in them stands and perform after that. Like, that's so crazy. Like, I'm a work in progress, but I ain't that far removed from that. Like, no, he would have had to see me. Say it again.
I agree, but here's the wild part about it. How many times have we seen the same comments about? Hold on, back me up a little bit, Julie. There you go. All right. How many times have we seen?
Hey man, don't be trying to be producer over there. Just talk. Just talk.
Nah, it's fine. Do it nicely. But I'm saying, it's like, how many times have we seen comments about the honeybees in a distasteful way, and nobody came to their rescue then? I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm
I haven't.
Like with Julian, I said, man, the honeybees. I've always been a proponent for the honeybees. Julian be like, nah, they're a gimmick. They're a
gimmick.
But Julian is also not working for a university. Julian is not working for a place of higher education. That man was a representative of FAMU's band program. And by way of his connection to that band program, he was a representative of that university. You can't stop what people say on the internet, but saying that in that stadium as a representative of that institution and that band program is too far. I don't agree with none of it. But Julian's opinion is not being announced into a stadium full of people where those girls are going to hear it directly and still have to perform the second half of that game. I just think that's too far. I don't agree with any of it. Bashing them is crazy, but doing it in that way, it's crazy. He should be fired. I don't know if he is. I don't know, but he should be, because an apology doesn't take back how it made those girls feel in that moment. I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
I
And
disagree
you don't get to
110%.
unring that bell. You can't unring that bell.
Well, and
I
this is how I
disagree
feel. So
100%.
I agree, but I'm sorry to cut you off, but I always look for the forest for the trees. Like, but again, when we go to selective outrage, it's like we'll say, and I'm speaking about black people. I'm thinking about beyond that. Was he wrong? Absolutely. Should he be held at a higher standard? Absolutely. But it's crazy that people are now saying, "Oh, he's wrong," when the same people was talking bad about these girls, these beautiful girls that just wanted to dance. How many people said they were a gimmick for years? How many people said they shouldn't be like this? They shouldn't be on the field. And it's like all of a sudden, nah, girl, we gonna support y'all and we gonna do this. It's like I feel like people, excuse my language, full of shit. Like if you gonna support me on Monday, support me on Saturday.
Here's the thing. I disagree that he should be fired because from program to program, each announcer says something about another program in any show. Southern has said something about Jackson State. Jackson State has said something about PB. PB has said something about FAMU. That's how the culture is. But now all of a sudden that one specific auxiliary group is called out. Now it's like all this outrage. This is what marching band programs do. This is what announcers do. And these are people, to your point, Portia, are representatives of their university. to that point, do I think the statement was distasteful? 110% was distasteful. Did he do I think it was taken out of context? Yes, I do think it was taken out of context, because we know in the culture this is how we communicate with each other. It's like sibling rivalry. I did a whole post on this. We talk crap to each other, but it's all in fun, banter, and love. And I think this one was just taken too far. And I feel like people make mistakes all the time. And to your point again, Portia, if I was the coach, I would have went to go address them, and something would have had to been done about it. To which something was done. 2 apologies, as well as a reprimand was had. It's like, you think somebody should be fired for one sentence when all marching band program announcers have said something negative about somebody else's band? It happens all the time.
The reason I don't agree is because, and I'm not in the SWAC, so maybe stuff is different down there. But what I'm telling you is making general statements about an entire band being sorry, or making a jab at, like the last time Virginia State was here, they said something snide about the Legion or whatever, and Will came back with, y'all call that a Trojan explosion, that sound more like pop rocks. That is about the entire band. I think narrowing it down to a specific group of girls and making it about their weight, to me, is too personal. And if he actually worked for a job and did this on a job, he would be fired. It is no different. I have an opinion about a lot of stuff that I just don't say 100% of, because I work for the Legion. Like, I used to be a lot more vocal about marching bands online before I got this position, but I've decided that as a person who's employed by this university, that whether I like it or not, the things that I do reflect back on that university. And so he wouldn't have said that at his job. So you can't say, well, it's a mistake. It's not. He intentionally said it. He practiced that. And my question is, we hear our announcer and what he's going to say before game day. If they heard that and nobody checked that, I feel like that's a problem too. Ain't nobody saying, hey, that might not be it. Hey, that might be too far. I just think that individualized attacks are just too far. And maybe that's because I'm in the MEAC and we don't go that low. But that to me was too far. And I just don't think an apology does anything about it. I don't agree. I feel like if I got on the internet talking crazy about a group, a specific part of a marching band, that I should probably be fired too. That's just how I feel. Because I don't know that his apology rectifies that. Like, that's going to be on them. That's out there. It's viral. It's everywhere. And I get it that people are coming to their rescue. I get general ban comments. I get rivalries, but that was very specific, and it was meant to target, diminish, and degrade those girls. That is a issue for me. It just is.
I want to respond to one more thing that you said. You said that, like, you know what your announcer says before, like, the game and stuff like that. To that point, I'm very aware that FAMU is initially from the MEAC. They're now inside of the SWAC. They also have a script that they write, and their announcer, Joe Bullard, has a script that he follows. But he also is so seasoned in the game. He's been on the radio. He's a personality. He's a host. He sometimes throws his own things in there. And I believe that this, when I had my conversations with my intel, this was something that he like improvised that was just slick. And it's something that he's done multiple times. It's just this time it didn't land. This time it didn't land. He said things on the fly sometimes that wasn't in the script that went over extremely well, and he was celebrated for it. This time it just didn't go so well. So to me, I just think that, like, we don't need to blow it out of proportion. I think that yes, it wasn't it was something that was detrimental to those girls, maybe self-esteem. However, I do believe that any publicity is great publicity, and I think that when people weren't really paying the honeybees as much attention, now everybody's looking at the honeybees. Nobody's talking about the stingettes. Nobody's talking about the J-sets. Nobody's talking about black foxes. Nobody's talking about anybody else. They're not talking about Motion of the Ocean. They're talking about the honeybees. So how can we flip this and continue to bring a positive light to a situation from a joke that was bad? Those are my thoughts.
So let me say a couple of things here. So first things first, I want to clarify that not every, as a former announcer, not every announcer goes in with a script. I can also tell you that the reason why Norfolk goes in with the script is because during our time of announcing, when me and Custom were announcing, we never had a script. There was not. Now I remember Staten used to have a script, but me and Cuss never had a script. We went out. We knew what it was a time, and I'll give you an example. It was a time where Cuss was called in. Cuss came in on a game day and was like, "Luke, what's the show?" And I'm telling him before he starts announcing what the show is. Then he goes. So I can definitely say that not all announcers have a script. The second thing is, it's to my understanding that the joke came because the honeybees are not or do not look the typical size that they used to. And so because of that, that was the reason why the Ozempic comment came up. Because
like they used to be curvier. They used to have a little bit more curves, and now they're a lot more slender than they have been in historically.
Right. They're a little bit smaller. They're a little bit smaller. I mean, yeah. So, and that's where that particular comment came from. So I think a lot of people, the communication that I had was because people didn't understand that, it was taking more out of context than what people understood it to be. Now, now I don't necessarily look at it as a compliment either, but I'm just saying that was the communication that was given to me. Now, here's my other part. I do know that announcers, and this is the part I truly agree with Portia on. I do know that announcers have taken jabs at other band programs. I think that's pretty normal or standard across the board. I agree with that. I am always and will be for healthy rivalries. I do kind of feel like there is a line crossed when you specifically target a subset group and target that subset group because of whatever physical thing that they have going on with them. I think that's where the line is truly drawn in the sand. And I think that's when I feel like we would go too far. And I feel like that's what this particular situation was. You specifically targeted a subset group and their particular situation and made that, the butt of your joke. So that's kind of where I am. Now, my final point is, there are things that have been said in the past about other subset groups, other bands that just haven't made it to the social media platforms. But I will tell you, I think all of it is wrong. Even if I were sitting in the audience and something was said similar to that about another group that never made it to social media, I'd still say it was wrong. So I'm going to be an equal opportunity in the fact that when you target a subset of a group like that, it's wrong. It's just wrong. Period. Should the man be fired? Nah, I don't think so. I don't personally think so. But I do believe he should be reprimanded, which I think that's what happened. So that's my points on that.
I think we all can agree there. Definitely some reprimanding has to happen. Acknowledgement has to happen. I think all those things are true. I think everybody's feelings around it are very valid, especially when you're talking about young women who are, they're putting it all out on the line, even if they're, not the most comfortable in their bodies. They still have to be curvy women on the field in leotards and tights right after the Sting X just went out. And they're, by definition, the skinny group of the auxiliary groups that are with Alabama State. So I can understand how, that could be mentally, like, as a woman, talking about our bodies and things like that already just goes down a different path, so I agree with everybody on that. I think that its virality has really blown my mind, just because I feel like I've been at so many games throughout my HBCU like tenure and post graduation, and I've heard some crazy things, and it was just like, oh, and we moved on, lived to see another day, and nobody ever talked about it again. But this is like headlines everywhere, so it's just interesting.
Yeah. Quan, what were you about to say? Dude, unmute yourself.
My bad. So, bro. So, I've seen aspects, bro, where Southern would talk about Grambling like a dog. I've seen games where people low blow talking about acceptance rates, graduation rates, you know, that they let felons in. Like I've seen and heard it all. And I'm not saying that this situation is right, but I just feel like we have selective outrage as black folks. That's all I'm saying. And honestly, I feel like reprimand him, because word on the street is that FAMU is being fined $10,000 by the sweat. And it's like, why? So why punish the institution? Punish him. He said it. That's all I'm saying, bro. It's like, you know how many things have happened in the sweat and nothing has happened? But we still fighting over DJs at the football games. That's all I'm saying. It's just, I just feel like we pick and choose, bro.
See, but what you're saying, in my opinion, kind of opens up a whole nother can of worms, right? Because the fact that we accept the degrading of each other and we look at that as culture.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I said.
No. I'm not talking about you specifically saying that. What I'm saying is we've I think collectively we've all kind of said it at one time or another. Like, that's what we do. That's part of what we do. That's part of it. Like, that's what I'm saying. The degrading of one another, we accept that as culture. And I think that within itself is an issue.
I have some thoughts on that.
Okay.
Just because my perspective on it is like, from HBCU to HBCU, it's like we're siblings. And you know, when you with your siblings, you gonna pick on your sibling. But let somebody outside that sibling group say something, oh no, it's a problem. Like, to your point, it's not a right thing that we do in our culture, and it doesn't just stop at HBCU culture. This is something that is ingrained in Black people. We joan each other. There's been memes that go around that are just like, oh, bro, you got a daddy? This guy got a daddy. Oh, you getting joan because he got a dad. Like, you know, we joan each other about the smallest, simplest things, and we just, I don't know what it is about our pain that we laugh at, but that's just something that's been ingrained into our culture. So then when we take it to a higher level, now we're educated. We're not gonna leave the things behind that came from being at the crib with cousin them and grandma them and aunt them. You're gonna do it on your yard, and now you're battling each other for dance groups and stuff like that, or whatever your organizations are. Even within the band, you got the piccolos fighting with the clarinets and going against the saxophones, and the tubas want to be the loudest, and the percussion don't think they're a part of the band. They their own entity. You know what I'm saying? And so they talking smack to each other. So then they all get together.
Don't be
and
proud
then now
of that, Quan.
You get what I'm saying? It's levels to it. And it's just something that's ingrained in our culture. What do we do about it? Eradicate it? It's kind of how we show love to each other. I don't know. I don't know if that makes it right or wrong, but it's Black culture.
I mean,
I think so.
Oh, go ahead, Portia.
Some of my perspective is that I'm coaching these students. So I'm personally offended if you said that about my girls, and you gonna have to see me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I think that's part of my perspective, is that I'm dealing with the real life people. I'm not looking at this from a distance. I'm in these trenches every day, and I'm telling you that I can't imagine being their coach. I could not imagine the impact and the pep talk that you had to give them to finish the rest of that game. Like, that's part of my perspective, and I think it's important to point that out. Like, I'm not an outsider talking about this. I'm a coach, and I just can't imagine what that would have been like, having to guide them through that after that comment was made. I get that it was all in fun. I get that we take jabs, and I understand that completely. But at the point that it gets to the personal level, and as a coach, I just can't imagine how you have to handle that and push them through the second half of a game.
I want to bring up this real quick. It was kind of said in the comment section, and I kind of said it on my LBR here, or LBR a couple of days ago. one of the groups that you kind of don't insult is black women, specifically, plus size black women. And I say that, and somebody just said it in the comments. They said if it was a jab at fat dudes gimmick they do at Southern, would this have been taken the same way? I don't think so at all. So to me, now that does boil down to selective outrage, which there we go, Quan. You may be onto something, bro, because it's unfortunately true. Right? Because how many times have we seen the heavyset dudes that are put out as the gimmick in front of a lot of bands? And they will get talked about, and nobody bats an eye. But this thing has been blown up. It really has. And I really believe that you're in and I said this on the LBR. You are in a HBCU space, SWAC versus SWAC, at a university where a large percentage of, I'm just going to say it, black women are there, and you are going to specifically target a black women group that is also plus size. So I don't know. I don't know, Quan. I think I gotta agree with you on that one. It ain't too often that I do, but I gotta agree with you on that.
First of all, but let me say this. Portia, your perspective is truly valid, and from a point of view that, as a director, if somebody was saying something but specific group about my girls in the band, I would feel a type of way too. So I don't want to diminish it. But what I will say is, what really upsets me is I've seen people diminish the integrity of the dance auxiliary group of the Honeybees for years. I think it was the one year the Honeybees had performed with Southern. That was the year that Southern, they didn't have their uniform. They had shorts, and a band hat. And I had jumped into the Honeybees' arms. And they were plus size women still, and they were literally carrying these men on the field. And people was joking about that, about being big girls. I don't know what that static was. But my whole point is, at the end of the day, is people have laughed at them for years. And now all of a sudden it's like, we're coming to your rescue because he took it too far. I just feel like the people fake. Not your perspective, Portia, not your perspective. Pronounce your name again for me. Sorry.
Nadira.
Like I think y'all points are valid, but I think from the outrage of the people, they fake. They fake it in the Golden Goat trap. That's how I personally see it. Because if you wasn't supporting these girls for the 5, 6, 7 years that they've been doing this, then why you on outrage now? Because you've been seeing comments like, the only difference is a university worker says something publicly. Nah, he's wrong. But I'm just saying, for years people have been saying that, man. So to say that them people haven't been seeing them comments for years. So what it's been doing to the psyche of those women for years to be a honeybee? When they had their own reality show, they addressed it. Yeah, we know we the plus size girls, but we the show. Like they've been saying that for years, bro, and I feel like people are wrong.
Rest in peace, Malcolm Jamal Warner. You said Gordon Gartrell. Yeah.
You guys, I do have to bid you adieu. It is 10 o'clock on my coast. And
you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. Quan got to go too. I was really about to shut it all down because I know Quan got to get to studying. So are we late? We late, bro? Oh, okay. We been late. We been late. All right. So let me get ready to close it out then. So first and foremost, I want you guys to continue the conversation in the chat. If you guys are watching this on playback, please continue the conversation because we definitely want to hear it. I want to definitely say, Nadira, you have been definitely giving some great feedback and you've been awesome today. You said that you're Greek. I wanted to ask, what organization are you a part of? Oh, okay. All right. There we go. All right. So we got two alphas, a zeta, and a delta. Okay, that works. There we go. Now we got to do is, we got to get a couple sigmas in here, a kappa, a q, and hey, we'll be all right, man. We get the whole D9 in here. But no, I always do this before we sign off. So, Nadira, I'll go ahead and let you start. Any final thoughts, anything that you have for the culture?
Final thoughts for the culture is let's love each other more. Let's have a little bit more grace and compassion for one another across the board. Let's continue to show up in our excellence and continue to celebrate one another. We have enough things happening in the world where powers that be are trying to take away our greatness and trying to take away funding to fund that greatness. And so we got to stick together inside of this fight. We got to love on each other, y'all. Let's continue to do that.
All right. Portia, I know you couldn't. I know you was working. I know you was getting them girls together. But I'm glad that you were here to come in at the tail end of this and just have the conversation. So, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture, Portia?
Yeah, I've missed you all. I'm sorry. I've really been doing my little job. So I haven't been able to show up. I should be good for in 2 weeks. We don't have a game. So I should be able to be on and you all can see my face and not this blackness of my car. But I do want to say that I love a good time. I love to crack jokes, but I do think that we just need to keep things, kind of more broad and less specific. To ensure that we aren't, hurting people in a way that could be to their detriment. But I want to say shout out to what I've been seeing this year from Color Guard. I'm seeing a lot more variation being incorporated in the selection of silk at these games. So I'm very happy about that. Less blending in with the marching band that you're performing with. So shout out to the coaches or coordinators and stepping out on a limb and doing something different. I did want to shout that out. I've been watching.
Okay. All right, Quan, hold up. Let me turn you up on my phone. Any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Man, stop playing on me, dog. Nah, man, just wish everybody well in a successful season. Y'all doing a lot of great things. But pray for public educators because it's real. This pay for mayor that they're pushing across the state of Texas and different states. Yeah, it's not real education anymore.
All right. Apparently, this call is no longer being recorded. So, outside of that, though, man, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. This has been super great and super dope. Don't forget, you can go in our store. You can get anything that you want, put it inside your cart. You can get it for 30% off your purchase. All you got to do is type in HBCU Band. Also, I will be going live on the LBR on Friday. So I said 10 p.m. on the LBR. It's actually 10 a.m. So I'm going to be going live at 10 a.m. And so we're going to be able to get in there and talk, man. Y'all come on through, check it out. Had a conversation with me. Outside of that, man, I don't have anything else, man. This has been super dope. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share it out, do all of the stuff. And we will see you guys in the next, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks.